Alright, this will be my third video, and I'll kind of update you, catch you up on where I'm at. But starting to take it apart on the outside, and with some research that I've done, it said that you take the bottom piece off first and go up. And I was kind of surprised with that, but that is exactly how it works. Over here, there's a little channel that the bottom of the metal siding slides in. And it comes up and just kind of slips into this here, and your corners and all your trim pieces ends up holding it. Looks like there had been some glue originally from the factory, so we'll be putting that back. But once I got all this loose, I ended up sticking a couple screws back in just to hold its position. The screws, that was another thing I've learned today, was I thought that these look like a square tipped screw. Well, it turns out that they're a little different than that. This is I don't know if you can see this tip here. Let's see. This tip is a odd shape. But they sell them at an RV supply place. Probably about all of them have them. Apparently, at least according to where I went today, they don't still use these. They use more of a square tipped square drive screw with and you could also use a Phillips on them. But I've about got this bottom piece of siding ready to come off, but here is what's holding me right now, is where this has been caulked in. That's kind of glued in, and again you can still see all the damage. It's at this point, it doesn't really surprise me, or really doesn't cause me any trouble, because I plan on replacing it all anyway, the wood. But I did, if you remember in the second video, I had a fire extinguisher handy. Well, it's a good thing, because I set it on fire right here. When I flash across this with a torch and then scrape the putty out and soften up the strip there. Apparently I set it on fire up in here, and I noticed it smoking and thought I put it out. It turns out I opened this door here a little later, about 15 minutes later, and the whole inside was totally full of smoke. So I got to put my fire extinguisher to use, and water hose, and I just wet it down real good, and inside and out, and got it out. But the torch works fine. Works good, but you just have to be really careful, because this wood behind there is as thin as paper. It's very dry. That's a piece of foam actually, but here's a piece of wood, and it will, and actually I think you can see this one right here is a little singed around the edges. That's part of where the fire was. But this stuff is just like matchsticks. It just don't take much to set it on fire. But so on your project, if you need to take the siding off, it looks like, if it's similar to mine, you'll be taking off the bottom piece first, sliding it out, and then just going right up just like that. And each new row, you see where, like right here, is this, it's stapled again along this area, and then the next piece just slides up in it. And outside of the windows and other trim, that's pretty, and a little bit of glue, it looks like that's all there is to it. And in the case of this one, it looks like it's 3/4 plywood with almost no frame. It attaches right here to this large area here on the bottom of the floor. It'll come right down through this area here and cap over that. Of course, I'll be checking this out to see if it's rotted. It looks like it does have some damage, but it goes over this. It comes to the top with a ledger board, like looks like a 1x4 that is recessed down the thickness of the roof rafters, and that's pretty much how it's put together. So I don't think it's going to be too bad building it back, but we'll see in the next videos.